Nelly is under fire now from the media because he went on to a show and he talked about his now wife Ashanti. Remember that they were together early on in the early 2000s and they broke up. Now they back together. They had a beautiful baby and they're married, right? But he made a comment where he says that he married her because he didn't want her to be a baby mama. Now, he didn't have to mean it that way, but the way it came out is the way that the media is going to run with it. Nobody knows the ins and out of their relationship. I'm a man that's been married for 24 years, so I understand that some things, some questions you just don't answer. Everything ain't for the public because they're going to take it, they're going to spin it, they're going to shape it the way that they see it and the way they think it should be. So now all over the internet, everybody is saying that he married Ashanti for the wrong reasons. He embarrassed Ashanti. He only married Ashanti for money. He only married Ashanti because it could boost his career up even further. It's not about love. It's not about none of that. His other baby mamas, he put more shine on them than Ashanti. He's only using Ashanti. It's just so many different things now that a lot of people on social media now is running with because he made a comment. But a lot of times, man, it's your wife. You're supposed to keep your wife covered. Your wife is supposed to keep you covered. Everything is for everybody. I wouldn't be on these shows discussing my wife. That's nobody's business. I wish that he didn't make that comment. But let's revisit and look at what he said when he was on this guy's show and what he said and how it came out of his mouth. Check this out.
The thing, I told you that Ashanti was settling. I told you that, and I was shocked that she even settled. Now, I get that she was getting older and she wanted to have a baby and she wanted to consider who would be a good father and things like that. But at the time when I was saying, no, they're not married. I don't think she's really pregnant. Yeah, I was getting it from sources. But the real nature of the issue was I just did not think Nelly really loved her like he said, because the way that he did her the first time and he got on national TV, just like he got on TV again tonight. And we're going to talk about it. Okay? This is not a dig at Ashanti. I know Ashanti thinks I don't like her. That has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with this piece of shit here. This is the bottom of the barrel, and I don't care. Shout out to St. Louis. I don't give a damn. Nelly is the bottom as the bottom can get. That is scraping the bottom, and I felt like she went back in the refrigerator for leftovers when she took him back. Okay? And so, when he did interviews back in the day and said, I felt like she was getting too clingy. I didn't want what she wanted. I wasn't into her like that. He literally said that, but he was with the girl for years because she was one of the hottest singers back in the day. And my thing is, once you show me who you are, I believe you. And so when they reunited, after he saw that she was still up, she was still sexy, she was still pretty, and Chantel didn't want him. Nobody was out here trying to throw. He had a baby with a girl that was cute in Atlanta right before he got her pregnant, didn't want to come out in public with her, made her a baby mama. Y'all remember all this? You remember all this? Yeah. I told y'all that he had a baby and that a baby mama that he still has not publicly acknowledged. But yet he gets on television to say, after Ashanti told us how he proposed, that the only reason he got married was because he didn't want Ashanti to be a baby mama. Go ahead, Jasmine. Roll the receipts.
And your wife's initial reuniting, was it at the Versus?
This is the thing. When I went to Versus, I had somebody with me.
Right.
But
I'm saying, but you guys shared the stage, and the internet was like,
he had another woman with him when he was at Versus, and it was his baby mother that he never went public with. Let's go. Keep going.
But
I'm saying, but you guys shared the stage, and the internet was like, oh shit, they're in the same place at the same time. Like,
I didn't want it tense.
Right.
When I walked in, her mother had saw me, and I knew that mom was going to go back and let her know that I was in the building.
Right.
We was here to celebrate with these brothers.
Of course.
Two of my cats,
Yep.
Joe and Ja, and to celebrate their music. So I didn't want it tense, and we didn't even talk. I just went over, we got a hug, break the ice, and boom. And we didn't talk for probably another almost 8 to 9 months to a year. We didn't have a conversation. That was that. But everything happens for a reason.
I think that's awesome. I think it's so dope. And by the way, kudos to you guys figuring out how to hide a wedding. How hard was that for that not to get out until after it happened?
Well, once we found out that she was pregnant, it was just like, yeah, I didn't want this to be, I don't want to say like
a child out of wedlock.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys are probably already planning,
but we hadn't talked about it
right.
yet. We
Okay.
hadn't talked about any of that yet. I hadn't, but I was like, yo, you know what? Let's just knock this out because we're going to be doing so much and everything's moving so fast. And I didn't want to, I didn't want her to be, a baby mama.
Oh. Y'all, Jazzy, remember how bad they dragged me and said I was hating? But I promise you, maybe it's the way that I deliver my news. But I promise you, I think Ashanti is so much better than this. I think she deserved better. I think she could have pulled the Eve. She really could have pulled a Eve. She could have been over there with all of her family, white, and she's the queen at the end of the table with their money that's going to be left to her, billions. But instead she went back to Nelly and having to go grab her purse to go and put on sunglasses to go bail his ass out of jail for Molly. Pregnant. So my thing is, I wanna play it towards the end because he was like, let's go ahead and do this. We got so much going on, and it was the just play this real quick because I want you to read in between the lines. That's what I do. I really listen to people. That's the gift. Is I listen to what they're saying, but they're not saying it. But if you really listen and just listen, they'll say it. Okay.
See, because of those comments, now he has Tasha K on her radar. And Tasha K took to social media, and before she went in on him before in years past. She believes that Ashanti doesn't like her because she always gave criticism of Nelly. And why Ashanti, and she said some cool stuff that I don't agree with. She said that Ashanti could have did what Eve did and went and got the W man and lived as a queen, and when he retired he's giving all his money and just a whole bunch of foolishness, right? As if black men ain't good enough, but she got a black man. I mean, she just have to pick a better black man. I mean, if y'all think that Nelly isn't good enough, but I don't know Nelly. But Tasha K was really going in on this situation, and she doubled down, and let's listen to the second half of this. Check this out.
So, and to my men in the chat, when you know. And you mean to tell me after him reuniting with her, after dating her before and then dating her again, that it took him not wanting her to be a baby mother because it was bad for her brand, and Tasha K was online throwing his ass under the bus, like just really making her look bad. So he just play this last part again, Jasmine.
Once we found out that she was pregnant, it was just like, yeah, I didn't want this to be, I don't want to say like
a child out of wedlock.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you guys are probably already planning, but
we hadn't talked about it
right.
yet. We hadn't talked about any of that yet. I hadn't, but I was like, yo, you know what? Let's just knock this out because we're going to be doing so much and everything's moving so fast. And I didn't want to.
Reality shows his brand was not killing it, but merging with Ashanti and them doing this, this couple goal thing, that's where the checks come in at. They can make money as a couple leveraging their brand, and they're doing it now. This wasn't about love. This was about money. Nelly makes money moves. He planted that baby in her to trap her, and he knew she wanted it. When a man knows, he knows. When a man knows, he knows. He knows from the first time he sees a woman whether or not he's going to marry her or not. I kid you not. I promise you. And the men in the chat can vouch for this. I know it's cliche, but it is what it is. A man could be in a relationship with a woman 3-4 years. He's unsure. He leaves that relationship. You find this man 6 weeks later married. Head over heels in love. When men know, they don't love everybody. They love one. And I just felt like, and I do still feel like she settled. So when I was getting all my information from sources, like and it's like, I felt like, and I knew it, but I just couldn't put it together, that they were doing things to keep the press, because their inner circle was leaking things that was going on between them. And she did not want to be a baby mama. And she said, I felt like it was coming because she was ragging him about not wanting to be a baby mama. And so he married her, not because he loves her, but because, you know what? This works. She's pregnant. She's Ashanti. If I marry her, we're both going to get a bag. We're going to be able to sell the brand. It looks good for reality TV. You know, he's done reality TV his whole life, you know, his whole career. This was a money move for him. And I guarantee you, with everything in me, and I hate to say this, but there is a woman out there that he loves, that sadly he will never marry, because money is who he is really married to. Just like when you got dudes that are married to the game because they sell dope and stuff, and they know if they marry you, it's going to drag you in. And so they don't marry you because they don't want, you know, whoever it is that they got beef with coming after their family. So they tend to keep it separate. Because it's like, if you're really, truly that guy, you didn't marry any other baby mothers, but yet you paraded these kids. Why is it that there's a woman in Atlanta whose kid you never claimed, but yet you're there for, but yet you're allowing Ashanti to shine as a wife and a mother, but you let all the other baby mothers shine as baby mothers before, and they kids was public, which means that was strategically done to oppress your secret so that you can look good publicly, so that you can bag Ashanti and take a bag as well. Nelly ain't.
So I say this as a married person. Listen, if you're married, you're evenly yoked, man, protect your wife or protect your husband. Keep your business offline. Everything ain't for everybody. Don't be speaking where these blogs and even YouTubers and people like me, you give people ammunition to come and talk about you, right? Me being married for 24 years, I'm not going to go in on Nelly or Ashanti because I don't know them like that. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors in their relationship and what the functions of what makes them move, right? There's no way in the world that anybody can say or know how much he loves her. Right now, he's an entertainer. He's a guy he was a man that was highly sought after by women. You know what I mean? Throughout his career, you know, Nelly was a guy that all he had to do was show up, and the women was there, and they was all willing and saying yeah. So I'm sure he had his share of women, right? But nobody can say I can't make a video and say that he whatever his children's mom, that he loves them more than Ashanti, or he or not, all that stuff is foolishness that people say just to sound salacious for views. But I tell married people, for a person like me, like, you're not gonna see me online telling my business about what the ins and outs of what go on with my wife. If we have an argument, I'm not gonna go on to TikTok or Instagram or Twitter or YouTube and start talking about what went on in my household. That ain't none of y'all business. I'm not gonna do that, right? But people, they do that because they live and they make their money online. So, you know, maybe he might have said something salacious like that in order to get this attention. But I doubt it. I doubt it. But I would say if he was my homeboy, don't go on shows making certain comments because the internet is going to run with it. And it's going to stay around for a while until it die out, right? And you're not doing nothing but embarrassing yourself and your wife. You know, Ashanti, when she goes on and she's not making those comments, you can't say, well, I married her because I didn't want her to be a baby mama. Those are not comments that you can say. And I don't think that he said it in malice, but it's just something that you can't say because there's a lot of angry women that's going to take that and going to run with it. So, yeah, if I was his homeboy and I gave him advice, I would tell him, dude, no bad words. Don't do that no more. But shout out to Ashanti and Nelly. I hope that they make it. They got a beautiful baby. He got a beautiful woman. I hope he's somewhere clapping them cheeks real good because there's a lot of men waiting in line to get with a woman like Ashanti. But I'm gonna cut this video right here, man. If you made it this far, in this video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section, right? Hit that like button so this video can get out to the algorithm. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.